My parents and sister kicked me out of the house after they inherited everything from my grandfather, leaving me to survive on the streets at just 18. I barely managed to get by, even spending a period living in a tent. But after years of struggle, I achieved huge success. The moment I appeared on television, my family came back, this time with 8 police officers and 12 lawyers, all demanding a share of my inheritance, which had reached $5 billion, as if they couldn't accept that I built my life without them. Part 2. I took a few days off to recover and press charges for assault, also seeking compensation for my legal fees, which the court granted. Despite my parents' attempts to persuade me to drop the charges, I stood firm. I even threatened legal action against them for their role in orchestrating the attack. Since my nephew is a minor, he was dealt with under juvenile law and only spent a short time in a juvenile facility, with his parents held responsible for restitution, lost wages, and covering my medical expenses. My sister and her husband were fined heavily, and in an attempt to ease their financial burden, they asked the court to allow them to complete part of their fine through community service. Since the incident, things have been quiet. I hope they've learned their lesson and will keep their distance. However, my parents haven't let this go. Just yesterday, they showed up at my door and waited outside for an hour until I reluctantly let them in. They pleaded for my help, but when it became clear they were speaking on behalf of my sister, I immediately refused to get involved. That's when they revealed their real reason for visiting. They were getting older, their home was falling apart, and they wanted to move in with me, expecting me to take them in out of duty. I confronted them about their lack of responsibility as parents. They mentioned the idea of giving their house to my sister, which I saw as another tactic to pressure me. They even suggested that my sister could pay rent to live in my house, and I could use it to cover my mortgage. I firmly declined, stating that my sister needed to handle her own financial problems without my involvement. They continued to plead, arguing that my house was too big for just one person, but I made it clear that my future plans didn't involve staying single or accommodating them out of obligation. Their attempts at emotional manipulation didn't work. I reminded them of how they had treated me in the past and emphasized that I would not be guilted into giving in. It was obvious they were trying to use family ties to their advantage, but I remained firm in setting boundaries to protect my well-being in the future. After they left, visibly upset, I closed the door behind them. Regardless of whatever names they might call me, I resolved not to give in to their demands or let them take advantage of me. Now, I'm ready to move on to the next chapter in my life, stronger and wiser from this experience.